Hi, this is Adewale Ademuwa from StressTherapist.net. I'd like to welcome you to our new edition of the Emotional Relief Revolution. I have decided to make every first Sunday of the month a question and answer Sunday. What this means is that every Sunday I will be answering your questions. So I will be answering any questions that you send to me through the email or through any of the contact me forms on StressTherapist.net. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this. To ensure confidentiality, I'm going to be answering the questions without mentioning anybody's name. I will also be omitting any information within the questions that might give an idea of who the person is, the person who's asked the question, or where they come from. This will help me to ensure confidentiality whilst at the same time help me to answer your questions as quickly as possible. So let's get on to today's question. I struggle sometimes with negative thinking about how I always think the worst things of any situations. I have practiced positive thinking for a while now, but every now and then I experience the negative thinking, sometimes for hours and sometimes all day. Will it ever completely go away? So my answer to that is that yes, it is possible for negative thinking to cease becoming a problem. In order to explain that answer, I would say it's important to understand that there is a process to progress, especially with emotional related issues. And the process is like this. You start off having mostly negative or bad days with a few good days. And as time goes by, you'll notice the bad days starts to diminish while you're having more good days. Until it gets to a point where there's a complete swap around and you have mostly good days and a few bad days. So why am I saying this? Some people are expecting that if they are making progress, they should not have any bad days. So in actual fact, when you're having this fluctuation in your progress, some good days, some bad days, what this is actually signaling is that you are on the route to getting better. So now, if you keep practicing, on the long run, you'll realize that soon you'll have no bad days. But I say that with a pinch of salt. Because everybody experiences some bad days. Even people who feel emotionally well will experience negative thinking. So really, negative thinking is natural. So it's not healthy to expect yourself to have no negative thinking at all. Hence, it's highly important that you don't fall into the trap of blaming yourself for thinking negatively. Because if you do blame yourself, what then happens is you get stuck in a cycle of negativity. So you feel negative, you blame yourself for feeling negative, you feel more negative, you blame yourself for feeling more negative, and the cycle goes on. This is what causes people to remain stuck in that negative place for days. It's enough just to have a negative thought, but to feel negative about having a negative thought makes the problem worse and makes the problem last longer. So really what I'm saying here is that you have to mix in with your efforts to think positively a lot of acceptance. Acceptance that there will be some days when you will have negative thoughts. And some days will be more difficult than others on your journey to progress, on your journey to becoming better, becoming a master at thinking positively. Now, this acceptance is key for ensuring that people remain in a positive place for longer. And even after you've reached the complete height of your progress at being able to maintain positive thinking, you will still have some days where you experience negative thinking. This is only natural. Actually, you would be completely abnormal if you had no negative thinking. Okay, this is something you can do. Do a survey. Gather a few of your friends who you know do not suffer from depression or anxiety and ask them a few questions like, do you ever think negatively about anything? You would be surprised that really everybody you ask would confess that they do have moments where they think negatively. In my experience, though, the individuals who won't agree to thinking negatively tend to be people who are afraid of anything that might suggest that they are becoming mentally unwell. So, to summarize what we've said today, there is a process to progress. You start first of all having some bad days, some days where the negative thinking is worse, and then you have some good days where the negative thinking is less. And then as you improve, those bad days start to reduce in frequency and intensity, whilst the positive days improve. So you need to see the process of progress almost like muscle building. The more you practice, the better you get. And even at the height of your progress, don't expect not to have any negative thinking. However, what you should expect as a sign that you are improving is that when you do have a negative thought, it won't last as long as it used to. It won't feel as intense as it used to.